Live right here on this Wednesday on the early line on SportsGrid. We go around the doubleheader last night in the association of NBA playoff action. Both of the number one seeds in the NBA postseason advanced to round number 2, and both had their opening game of their second round series last night at home. We start in Oklahoma City, where the Thunder only a 3.5-point favorite against the Dallas Mavericks, as Donnie has been saying for the past 48 hours here on TEL. Put some respect on Oklahoma City's name. Just a minus 130 series outright favorite entering game number 1. They make good on those numbers, proving once again why they are the top overall seed in the NBA's Western Conference. 117-95, the victory for the Thunder. DRS, your best bet yesterday. OKC proving their might, only a 3.5-point favorite. They roll, they cover that number at home.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that sometimes you just call out and you got to have it with conviction here, and I did. It was just one of those where you're laying out. I'm not saying Oklahoma City, Ben, should have been favored by 9.5 and was still easily covered that number, but it just felt coming in, the time to bet against OKC and figure if they're a fraud or not, which you didn't play 82 games on paper, you played them on the court, and you were the number one overall seed, was to get them in round number 1 against the Pelicans. Oh, look, they're not used to winning when they're supposed to win at this point. They're always that lovable underdog. Let's see what they can do, but now they sit in that 1 seed and swept all the way through the Pels. Now you get to round number 2, and we were treating the Dallas Mavericks, who were very good with their superstars, no doubt about it, but we were treating them like, oh, they just beat the Clippers, who were the best team in the NBA, and wiped them off the court when the Clippers weren't even healthy, and you still had to go to 6 games in order to do that. So when I looked at OKC coming into this, home court advantage, basically win the basketball game, sign me up all day long. They were great all the way through, which includes fantastic on defense. That's one of the better offensive teams in the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks, and you hold them to under 100 points, you're going to win just about every single game you play against them.
Yeah.
Quality victory for OKC, but not one of those, Ben, where I say to go like, ooh, I didn't see that coming. No, I saw that coming all the way.
Absolutely so, Donnie. You mentioned an alternate spread for OKC winning by double digits. 22, maybe not, but at least comfortably by double digits. The Oklahoma City Thunder have played 5 playoff games in this postseason. And the question was, this young Thunder core in their first playoff run together, how would this new stage match up for them? They've played 5 games, they have 5 wins, and they have covered the number in their last 4, booked as a favorite in every single one. They have also gone under in 4 of these 5 playoff games. 218 last night against the Mavs does stay under because Dallas scores only 95. No team, Donnie, has scored more than 95 against Oklahoma City in this postseason. The Pels, lifeless offensively in that opening round series, never more than 92. Dallas stays a couple of points shy of the century mark last night as well, and they finished their series against L.A. going over in 3 straight. The Mavericks did shoot less than 40% from the floor as a team. Kyrie Irving, only 20 points under his prop of 24.5. Luka Doncic, not his best night either. 19 points under 32.5 for his points prop. Sure, you're not going to get those performances out of Luka and Kyrie each and every game in this series, but if they combine to score 20 more points, they still lose by 2.
Yeah, and by the way, I got sucked into that FanDuel bet yesterday, which I really liked too. 25 points apiece by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and also Luka Doncic. I think Doncic had 10 points, Ben, after the first quarter. So that looked like that was going to be on the up, and away we go. And granted, the game was on late, so I didn't see it finish. Woke up this morning and saw that, but the final score was what I was most importantly looking at. But also, the one thing we saw last night, Ben, is the Dallas Mavericks are a better team than what they showed. But at the same time, the Dallas Mavericks are not a better overall team than OKC, particularly with home court advantage. And yes, we're watching Luka Doncic. We always know he is slow, but he's also very deliberate in this movement, and you still can't stop the guy. But it is clear his knee is bothering him. You could just watch from the day-to-day motions and also out there when he plays defense. They're putting him on a guy that's not expected to do a lot of damage, and he basically just hangs back and says, look, I just can't get injured here and not exert a lot of energy because I need it for offense. We'll see in game number 2 if that turns around. But I believe, it was either you or Kevin that asked me yesterday, do we have any worries about Luka Doncic's knee at this point? I said, no, not necessarily. necessarily because he's been pretty much dominant all the way through. I'm now looking at that saying to myself, I am having a little bit of problems looking at Luka Doncic, the way he was moving around yesterday. And quite frankly, 6 of 19 from the floor, still played 41 minutes, but that's not efficiency out of Luka Doncic that we expect here. Loved what I saw to OKC, and also a little bit more troubling now looking at Doncic moving around the court, not so fast.
You got to stop confusing your co-host. We need to get you back to solo missions on the money line. That must have been a conversation with old K-Dubs yesterday getting ready for game number 1 in Oklahoma City. Again, Luka Doncic does stay under 32.5 points. I said this yesterday, DRS, that when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a points prop sub 30, you bet it out of principle. He had 19 at the half. He ended with 29. He went over his pregame prop of 28 in a hook. Again, a principal play. Also 9 boards and 9 dimes. How about the duo of Jalen Williams? That would be Jalen Williams, the starter in the lineup for OKC, and also Jalen Williams. They scored a combined 29 points last night for OKC, 11 off the bench for Jalen Williams, who played his college ball at Arkansas. And DRS, you made this point on Monday's show. You reinforced this point on yesterday's show prior to game number 1. OKC being just a minus 120, minus 130 series outright favorite was frankly disrespectful. They're up 1-0, and the odds didn't actually move as much as you might expect in some other series prices. The Thunder just a minus 230 odds-on favorite to win this series outright.
Yeah, and that'll get even larger when OKC beats them again by double digits in game number 2. I do believe that's going to happen, even though, look, Dallas is a very good team, but we're so underrating OKC right now. And case in point, as you put it out, Ben, the number 1 seed going in is a minus 120 price with home court advantage after a first-round sweep. This is wild times. I can only imagine that how many bets came in on the Dallas Mavericks for the sports books just to try to protect themselves with those numbers here. That's probably what's going on. But that was, again, it wasn't a fluke the first 4 games in the playoffs. It wasn't a fluke last night that they won by 117-95. It's not going to be a fluke when they win game number 2 and take a 2-0 series lead either, Ben.
Yeah. I just found my best bet for this series. Oklahoma City is up 1 game to zip. They're a 4.5-point favorite for game 2, and they're still only laying a game and a half in the series spread at minus 110. If they win in 6 or earlier, they cover that series spread.